Falcons' prayers have finally been answered. The Dirty Birds have been cleaning up all season. Who would have ever dreamt it?
It's like the world now. It's like the whole world.
We're going to pay the price to keep it going from here.
Let's go get their from the way on, baby.
That's Dirty Bird football right there. Oh, yeah. Hey, that is it.
Miami's prayers have also been answered this season as the Dolphins have hurdled most AFC teams and qualified for the playoffs as a wild card. By giving the Falcons a bird bath today, they can ensure themselves a home game next weekend. But with a loss, Dan Marino will call his travel agent and take his show on the road. Better than 70,000 fans expected at the Georgia Dome today for the regular season finale. Two teams headed to the playoffs, the Miami Dolphins and the Atlanta Falcons. In the AFC, the number 4 seed still up for grabs. Miami can clinch it with a win today over Atlanta. Happy holidays, everybody. Ian Eagle along with former All-Pro offensive lineman Mark May. The Miami Dolphins all season, Mark, have talked about establishing the running game. But when push comes to shove in the month of December, Miami's needed big victories. They've gone to the arm of Dan Marino.
Well, they had to go to the well of Dan Marino one more time. The future Hall of Famer may have had his best game ever under the Jimmy Johnson era on Monday night against the defending world champion Denver Broncos. He threw for 4 touchdown passes.
Ron Moore, though, will get the start at running back to make matters worse for the Miami running game, which has been struggling. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is out with a concussion. For the Atlanta Falcons, a loose group yesterday when we met with them. And the Falcons, a team that talked about going 14-2, and that sounds better than 13-3.
Absolutely. You want to finish the season strong at the end of the year. And I talked to Rich Brooks yesterday, and what he told me was this is an extension of the playoffs. We want to finish the season right, going into the playoffs on a winning note.
And Brooks does step in once again for Dan Reeves. Brooks will run the team from the coach's box upstairs. The kickoff, the NFC West champion Falcons and the Dolphins, next on CBS. Brooks led the Falcons to a victory over Detroit last week. Falcons now 13-2. Brooks, the defensive coordinator for this team, former head coach of the St. Louis Rams. And Jimmy Johnson, his best season as head coach of the Miami Dolphins. This is 3rd year at the helm. Falcons have won the toss. Dolphins kick it off. Tim Dwight, the rookie, takes it out. Dwight has an opening. Trying to cut to the outside, the stutter step move. And Tim Dwight brought down at the 38-yard line. And this capacity crowd is charged up to start play. A 34-yard return as Renee Stewart made the tackle on special teams. Chris Chandler, what a season carries in a season. He is 16 shy of James Wilder, who set the mark for Tampa Bay back in 1984. And question marks as to whether or not Chandler should even be starting this football game. Rich Brooks deciding, hey, they've got to go with their top quarterback, at least in the first half.
Well, at least the first half. And I talked to Chris Chandler before the game in the locker room, and he said the atmosphere here, heck, it's almost like a preseason game at the end. They want to win the game. Everyone's relaxed. Everyone's into the game, and they're focused. But going into a game like this at the end of the season, they're not used at this point in time of playing a game that means something, but it's a good feeling for them to play a game at this point in the season that doesn't mean anything.
Renee Stewart shaken up on the play. In his 3rd year out of northern Arizona, goes off to the sidelines. And we are set for our first play from scrimmage. On a 1st and 10 from the 38. Play action. Chandler throwing on 1st down to O.J. Santiago. Santiago could go the distance. Touchdown, Atlanta. Yards to open play. Not a bad way to start.
Not at all. An offensive coordinator, George Sefcik, called a tremendous call on the first play. They know the quickness of the Miami defense. They will fast flow. So you fake it to Jamal Anderson. The whole defense took the fake. Chris Chandler rolls out to the right. Wide open is the tight end O.J. Santiago. And it was off to the races. Ran through the tackle. Attempt by Terrell Buckley. And he scores a touchdown on the first play of scrimmage for the offense for the Atlanta Falcons.
Longest touchdown reception of Santiago's young career as Morton Anderson adds the extra point.
And the entire defense of the Dolphins gets fooled. They go with running back Jamal Anderson because they have to respect his ability. They have to get there. The quickness of the Dolphins defense hurt him on this play, but O.J. Santiago makes a great run, running through attempted tackles and goes in for the score.
Santiago was a high school basketball star in native Ontario. First year of organized football came his senior year of high school. Ended up going to Kent State, not exactly a football powerhouse, and he finds himself flourishing now in his second year in the NFL, a former third-round pick.
Well, and we thought we'd see the dirty bird, but I didn't think we'd see it after the first play of the game.
Santiago, one of the originators of the dirty bird, along with Jamal Anderson. They've been having a lot of fun with that dance. Anderson telling us, though, he never thought it would be bigger than the Macarena here in the Georgia area.
The way this team was loose in the locker room, and yesterday when we talked to him, and to come out and establish himself the first play of the game, it shows that these guys are the champions of the NFC West.
Anderson kicks it off. Nate Jacquet is filling in for John Avery. And Jacquet has himself a new number as well. It's 88. Formerly, he wore number 19. It's a touchback, and for Anderson, something he's been doing all season. Dan Marino will have it. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Marino, 4 touchdown passes last week, as Mark mentioned. Over 3,000 passing yards for an NFL record 13th season. But as we talked about in the open, no Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Guys need to talk.
Out with a concussion. John Avery is also banged up a bit. Avery with an ankle injury, but he is active. So Ron Moore makes his first appearance on the field as a Miami Dolphin this season. On 1st and 10. The give is to Moore, the former member of the Cardinals, who went over 1,000 yards in his rookie campaign back in 1993. Offensive line for the Dolphins. Some injuries. Brent Smith is in for Richmond Webb. Kevin Donnelly is active, but he is not starting, so Mike Sheldon gets the nod at right guard. There's Ron Moore in the backfield with Stanley Pritchett. Lamar Thomas coming off a dream game a week ago against Denver, along with O.J. McDuffie and Troy Drayton. 3-yard gain on 1st down. It is loud early here at the Georgia Dome. Marino airing it out, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Drayton. The Atlanta Falcons defense comes in ranked number 7 in the NFL. Lester Archambault will not play today, inactive because of a thumb injury. John Burrows steps in at defensive end along with Smith, Dronette, and Hall. Linebackers, talented group. Henry Crockett, Jesse Tuggle going to the Pro Bowl, Cornelius Bennett. And the secondary, big play Ray Buchanan. His first Pro Bowl appearance coming this season. On 3rd and 7, Marino will work out of the shotgun. Marino, blitz coming, and he's down. A combination. Cornelius Bennett, Shane Dronette involved as well.
They go with a solid dub defense right there, the 3-down lineman, the old Buddy Ryan 46, and they just rush everybody. They bring middle linebackers on the outside. Cornelius Bennett gets through, but in the middle, it's Chuck Smith that gets the pressure on Dan Marino to make him step up in the pocket where the rest of the defenders can converge for the sack on Dan Marino.
They'll give Chuck Smith credit for the sack. And we see Klaus Wilmsmeyer early on, the punt. Dwight waiting. Takes a roll out of bounds. And good field position for the Falcons' second possession. A bang-bang start for the Atlanta Falcons. 7-0. Atlanta in front. Falcons with a 7-0 lead on the Miami Dolphins with 13:18 to play in the first quarter. 1 play, 1 touchdown for the Atlanta Falcons on offense. Miami going 3 and out. Because of the absence of Dan Reeves, backup quarterback Steve DeBerg, a former coach with the New York Giants, involved in coaching, relaying plays from the sidelines to quarterback Chris Chandler. Second time the Falcons have had it to start out play from the 38. And it is Jamal Anderson trying to cut it back as he spins his way for a 3.5, maybe a 4-yard gain on 1st down. The Miami defense, ranked number 2 in the NFL, Jason Taylor, Darrell Gardner, the Pro Bowler Tim Bowens, and Kenny Mixon up front in this 4-3 alignment. Robert Jones, Zach Thomas, and Derek Rogers, the linebackers. And the secondary, Madison and Buckley. No Pro Bowls for the corners, but you could make a case for either one of them.
And not only the corners, but that guy, Zach Thomas. A lot of people, not only in Miami, but across the league, they thought he would definitely be a Pro Bowler this year.
On second down, Chandler straight back. Off of the fake, Chandler rolling out. Chandler remaining on his feet. That's your starting quarterback in the final game of the regular season, giving up his body as Robert Jones came in for the lick. Well short of a first down.
Pressure put on by the Miami front, but Chris Chandler's a competitive. He's going to try to make something happen. His wide receiver's not open, so he's going to roll out, try to create a big play, avoids the rush of Kenny Mixon, turns the ball down the field. Jason Taylor was first to hit him, but then on the cleanup, it's Robert Jones to tackle quarterback Chris Chandler.
A 3-yard gain, setting up 3rd and 4. Chandler now in his 11th year in the NFL finally has found a permanent home here in Atlanta. 3-receiver look with Tim Dwight. Throwing it out long. Separation. Tony Martin is gone. Touchdown, Atlanta Falcons. Martin was out of bounds at the 2. Stepped out of bounds after the 54-yard gain. And came oh so close.
And a nice job by the offensive line of giving Chris Chandler the time, but he just beats Terrell Buckley. Terrell Buckley acts like he's got help deep. There's no one back there. He's beat on the play. Terrence Mathis' speed, Tony Martin's speed on the outside just goes by Terrell Buckley, and it's a foot race down to the sidelines. Tries to stiff arm Buckley and gets pushed out of bounds. Nice job by Buckley of saving the touchdown, but he's got to think he doesn't have help. Whenever you've got help deep, you always have to play that wide receiver like there's no one back there. These guys live on pressing those wide receivers on the line of scrimmage.
Oh, so close to the pylon. Martin could not get in. Timeout called by Atlanta. 1st and goal from the 2 in a moment.
In the financial world, banking as we have known it has become a thing of the past. Brokerages, insurance companies, all of our financial institutions are in transition. Teller windows have become electronic gateways. The savings book is now the investment portfolio, and financial products which once could only be obtained from a vast number of different sources can now be obtained from one. Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, planning, insurance, all have moved to a single place, to the financial mountain called First Union, who for half a century has helped investors seeking diversity, growth, and security. Come to the mountain called First Union, or if you prefer, the mountain will come to you.
The North Star system, performance and technology that set Cadillac apart from every other luxury car in the world. Now, for a limited time during the Cadillac Performance Drive, a 1999 Seville with the North Star system can be yours for just $549 a month and just $14.99 due at lease signing. Seville for just $549 a month, a powerful way to set yourself apart during the Cadillac Performance Drive. See your...
By Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. First Union, your guide to the financial world. And by Cadillac and your Cadillac dealers.
2 passes for Atlanta quarterback Chris Chandler. 115 yards. He is 2 of 2 so far. And it's a 1st and goal from the 2-yard line. On the bootleg, Chandler throwing, flag down, pass caught for a touchdown, Santiago. Flag on the play as Chandler is very slow to get up. Holding has been called on the defense. Brian Walker, the safety. But the concern right now for Atlanta is the status of Chris Chandler in obvious pain.
And in this situation, you're up by 2 touchdowns early in a meaningless game for the Falcons. This is where I take Chris Chandler out of the game. If I'm Rich Brooks, the interim head coach, he's already wobbly. Even if he comes to the sidelines and says, I'm okay, I want to get back in there, you don't put him back in the game at this point. You save him for the playoffs.
Something we talked about prior to the game, Mark. Is it worth risking the injury to Chris Chandler when you know that you've already got the number 2 seed locked up in the NFC?
Just gets grabbed from the back by Kenny Mixon and dragged down to the ground, and it looks like he falls backwards on his legs as Kenny Mixon then pushes him forward. But here's a situation where Chris Chandler, in my opinion, if I'm the head coach, he's on the sidelines for the duration of the game.
Okay. Anderson with the extra point. Chandler being tended to by the medical staff with his team in front, 14-0.
The North Star System, performance and technology that set Cadillac.
Afternoon for Chris Chandler to O.J. Santiago. Chandler trying to walk it off following the injury. Santiago now with 5 touchdowns this season. Chandler has thrown 25 touchdowns this year. Only 12 interceptions. Anderson on the kick. It will be Nate Jacquet from the goal line. Jacquet tripped up. Had a chance to gain some more yardage, but the ball will be placed at the 21.
Ball's on the back of his legs, and it appears he wrenches his lower back on the play.
But you believe this is a no-brainer?
This game's over. He does not come back in. I don't care if he has to hand the ball off to Jamal Anderson for the rest of the game. I still don't take the chance of putting him in.
Chandler's numbers, he has been so instrumental in the success of this Atlanta Falcons franchise. When he's in there, this team just wins, flat out. Sprained back for Chris Chandler, still trying to walk it off. We still don't know whether he will return to action. On the handoff for Moore. Ron Moore spun down at the 25-yard line, a pickup of 4 on first down. Jesse Tuggle combining with Shane Dronette to make the tackle.
And one thing about Ron Moore, he's tough. That's what Jimmy Johnson likes. He's almost like a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar between the tackles. He forces the issue, and he can cut back as well as anyone in the league.
On 2nd and 6. Marino dumping it out to Moore, and he's met very quickly by Cornelius Bennett. A gain of maybe half a yard on the play, setting up 3rd and 5 for Miami. Bennett really having a fine season for this Atlanta defense, returning to the form that football fans became accustomed to when he played with the Buffalo Bills.
He was a heck of a player last year. He just got after the quarterback was off injured last year. This year, they've got him dropping back. Rich Brooks has him dropping back, covering wide receivers sometimes, covering running backs, covering tight ends, and he's been more productive doing that, and he'll blitz on occasion, but they've got him in their drop back scheme.
On 3rd and 5, a passing situation for Miami. Marino out of the gun. To the sideline, and it's incomplete. Nate Jacquet, the intended receiver. So the Dolphins forced to punt. Oronde Gadsden, normally in the starting lineup, replaced today by Lamar Thomas, and that's Gadsden out on the sideline, not Jacquet, 86.
He did a good job of mugging cornerback Michael Booker, getting off the line of scrimmage. If you're a big, powerful wide receiver on the outside, if you want to get that guy off, you just run over him like Oronde Gadsden did, and you'll get open. Unfortunately, the pass wasn't there from Dan Marino.
Tim Dwight waiting. The punt from Wilmsmeyer. Dwight will catch it cleanly at the 39. Dwight has some speed. Couldn't quite turn the corner, but a good return nonetheless of 11 yards following the 36-yard kick. Could be Steve DeBerg getting ready to take the field for this Atlanta offense, with the Falcons in front, 14-0.
CBS is sponsored by Circuit City. Low prices all over the store. And by Beck's, the best of what Germans do best.
Falcons out to the early 14-0 lead and a new quarterback for Atlanta. It's the veteran, Steve DeBerg, 44 years old, oldest player currently in the NFL. And it takes DeBerg out of the role that he had been serving for this Atlanta team, helping to send the signals into the quarterback, Chris Chandler. So now Tony Graziani, the third-string QB, assumes that role. Jamal Anderson into Miami territory as he's brought down at the 49-yard line. A pickup of 6. Brock Marion making the tackle. DeBerg was actually an assistant coach for the New York Giants, came out of retirement. It gives you a bit of an indication of the fact that there is still a need for quarterbacks around the NFL when a 44-year-old veteran like DeBerg can get a job.
And this is the year of the backup quarterback, and now Steve DeBerg at 44 years old, as you said, and he's definitely proving that today.
On 2nd and 4. Keep it on the ground for Anderson. Trying to cut it back as he was shoved forward to the 43-yard line. 2-yard gain. Kenny Mixon the tackle. As the Falcons inch a bit closer to the first down, it'll be 3rd and 2 coming up.
With Steve DeBerg in there, you're going to see a lot of Jamal Anderson running the ball, particularly in the first half. And it's easy to do that when you've got a great back like Jamal Anderson. Just feed him the football to take the pressure off to Steve DeBerg. Put him in the 3rd and 5 or less situations where they can run it or throw it. It's dealer's choice as a quarterback.
Anderson, 11 100-yard plus rushing games this season. It would take a while to go over his accomplishments this year. It's been that kind of season for Anderson.
You know, it's amazing. He started in the NFL before I started. I played 13 years. I've been out for 4 or 5 years, and he's back playing in the NFL.
Steve DeBerg leading this Atlanta offense on a 3rd and 2. Dwight, the third receiver. DeBerg on a rollout. Throw it into some traffic, and it's incomplete. Intended receiver Terrence Mathis. And for the first time, the Falcons will be forced to punt here today.
Nice job of the defensive converging on Terrence Mathis. Steve DeBerg rolls out and throws a little jump pass, but it's the defense, Zach Thomas and company, conversion on Mathis. Rolling out to the right. They like the roll passes to try to get away from the rush of the defense. And the defense just converges with Robert Jones there, putting the stick on Terrence Mathis.
Dan Straczynski will punt for the Atlanta Falcons.
Miami, number 1.
Dolphins take a timeout. They have 2 remaining. Atlanta took 1 earlier. So each club with 2 left. Jimmy Johnson with that incredulous look on the sidelines. Unhappy that his special teams unit was not ready.
Well, not only that, I think he's frustrated with the defense. Actually, the first couple of plays, the first couple of drives where Atlanta just takes the ball down the field, the first play of the game. He wants to get his team settled down, and it starts with the special teams. This is the first play. Get the special teams out there, get them settled down, don't get called for a penalty, get lined up right. Now let's get the offense going, and he wants to move the ball offensively. He's got to get this thing turned around for this Miami Dolphins football team.
Mike Westhoff, special teams coach for Miami. They're a rare breed, these special teams coaches. Most of them are quite characters. O.J. McDuffie deep as Straczynski was able to angle it inside the 5-yard line. Terrific effort by Straczynski, and the Dolphins are pinned back deep in their own territory. 39-yard punt. 14-0. Atlanta with the lead. Happy holidays, everybody. Atlanta leading Miami 14-0 with 7:44 to play in the first quarter. Dolphins, their field position has had an effect so far, but their offense yet to get going. Ron Moore getting the start for the injured Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Moore taking it straight up the middle. Travis Hall involved in the stop. Moore did go over 1,000 yards rushing back in 1993 as a member of the Arizona Cardinals, and had to do it with a rather shaky offensive line, if I remember correctly. The man to my right, Mark May, one of those who blocked for Ron Moore that season. What kind of runner is he?
He's a great runner, particularly between the tackles. He likes to push it up there, and he follows his blockers, has great vision. If they're going to run the ball to Ron Moore today, they've got to run it between those 2 tackles, and obviously right behind that center in the middle of the field.
Off of play action, Marino throwing, and it's intercepted. Ronnie Bradford in for the touchdown. destruction here in the first quarter. The Miami Dolphins coming into this game needing a victory to clinch home field advantage. For the first round, they can still get it with a New England loss. But even with that said, Jimmy Johnson just shaking his head and shrugging his shoulders. He has no idea what has hit his team early on.
It's like Murphy's Law. Sometimes when things go bad, you can't correct them. And Dan Marino forced that ball. He's thrown the ball 4 times this afternoon. He's been sacked once. He's been harassed every time he's thrown the ball. And that's a great job of the defenders up front for the Atlanta Falcons. Rich Brooks, the interim head coach and defensive coordinator, has got his 4 guys up front getting penetration on that beat-up offensive line of Miami. They've lost 4 of their top 6 players, 3 starters on the offensive line of the Miami Dolphins.
For the Falcons, their 6th defensive touchdown this season. That is a new club record. And a credit to the job that Rich Brooks has done as the defensive coordinator and today the interim coach in for Dan Reeves. Morton Anderson trying to extend Atlanta's lead. And he does. Anderson has scored in 238 consecutive games. An NFL record. For Ronnie Bradford, his 3rd INT of the season, 1st touchdown. Bradford starting ahead of the youngster Michael Booker. And Marino has been under constant pressure here in the first quarter. It's cost him.
Well, the linemen up front have to do a better job of keeping Dan Marino clean. And on the outside, Burrows, it's the running back that's trying to get a shot on John Burrows, the defensive end. You've got a running back blocking a defensive end, and that's Ron Moore. And that doesn't mix when you've got a smaller guy that's about 40 pounds lighter trying to block a defensive end one-on-one. And Dan Marino doesn't have a chance to get rid of this ball, but he throws it into coverage and pays the price.
It was a poor pass in the vicinity of Ed Perry, the tight end. And Marino's team now in a 21-point hole. We've played 8 minutes of football.
And I talked to Kippy Brown, the offensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins, and his first sentence to me was, "You're only as good as your last game." As well as they played on Monday night against the defending world champions Denver Broncos, they're playing as bad today. They can't get anything going on either side of the football.
Had that 31-21 win over Denver last week on Monday night. And Jacquet will take a knee. Time right now for an NFL Today report as we head to Jim Nantz in New York.
Ian, the game down in New Orleans almost identical to yours. Rob Johnson in for the injured Doug Flutie today, and watch him tuck it in and go in untouched. And it's 21-0 Bills over the Saints. Let's go back to you in Atlanta.
The only difference there, Jim, it's the NFC trampling the AFC in this one. And the opposite there with Buffalo doing a number on New Orleans early on in the first quarter. Miami yet to get anything going offensively so far. On the handoff, John Avery checking in. Little shake and bake as he took it around the left side. And he picked up 3.5, maybe 4. John Burrow, the tackle for Atlanta. Avery with an injured ankle. He's not exactly a 3rd down back for this Miami offense. He's really more of a change of pace back. You'll see him on 3rd downs, but you'll also see him on 1st and 2nd downs as well for Jimmy Johnson.
And Jimmy Johnson likes to use him as their game breaker. He can go all the way with the ball. And they needed somebody like that with that type of speed in the backfield, and that's why they have John Avery. But he's not 100%. He's got that bad ankle, which he sustained in the Monday night game. And he hobbled all week this week during practice.
Marino throwing, caught by McDuffie. Sheds a tackler, and McDuffie is brought down as he crosses the 40-yard line. 18-yard pass play. McDuffie now 62 straight games with at least 1 reception, and he came in as the leading receiver in the NFL in terms of catches.
This is a nice route by O.J. McDuffie. Nice plant turn for the ball, but the only mistake he makes right here, go to the outside. He picks up more yards, but he goes to the inside, back to the teeth of the defense, where the rush can get you. The speed in the pursuit and the angle of the defense will catch you. He needs to stay to the outside to pick up additional yardage. 86 receptions this season.
Needs one more to break the team record set by Mark Clayton. Catch made by Lamar Thomas, his first reception of the afternoon. Thomas coming off of a fairy tale game a week ago against Denver. 6 catches, 136 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was then rewarded with a 2-year, $1.6 million contract. His paternal grandmother was in the stadium for the game against Denver, the first ever game she has witnessed in person of her grandson Lamar.
It was a very special game for him, and he produced his best game of his career.
On 2nd and 5. Avery moving ahead as he crosses midfield, very close to a first down. John Burrow again making the tackle for Atlanta. It'll be 3rd and short coming up.
And that's a nice job of John Avery being patient in the hole, moving side to side, letting his blockers get their blocks, and then attack the line of scrimmage forward. A lot of questions have been asked about John Avery. He tries to get to the outside and make something happen. He's not patient enough to let his blockers settle into his block. But on the last play, he was smart and patient enough to let the guys, the big offensive linemen, get into the defensive front of Atlanta and get a push.
Avery, the lone setback. On 3rd and 1. Pritchard, the motion man. Avery has the first down with forward progress. Looks like he got to the Atlanta 48-yard line, which would give him a yard cushion for what he needed to get a new set of downs.
Nice push by tight end Ed Perry on the defensive front, but John Avery watches his blocks, finds the hole, picks it in there, and slams the ball. And on short yardage situations like this, you've got to find that hole in a hurry and slam that ball in the line of scrimmage when it's 3rd and short to pick up the first down. John Avery does an outstanding job of doing that.
1st and 10 now for Miami from the Atlanta 48. First time they have crossed into Falcons territory here in the first quarter as we approach 3 minutes left. Marino, plenty of time, airing it out, and the catch made. Lamar Thomas. Ronnie Bradford brought him down, a 31-yard hookup.
Lamar Thomas on the outside, one-on-one, does a nice job of running his route and staying with it. But Dan Marino gets great protection by the offensive line. It's a simple route. Plants, turns in, goes to the post. The ball's there, lunges out for it, keeps his concentration and catches it with his fingertips and his hands. Nice job by Lamar Thomas. But Dan Marino had time up front. One of the few times today he wasn't pressured, harassed, or knocked down.
I don't know if that was a variation of the Dirty Bird. I'm not quite sure of that reaction. On a 1st and 10 from the 17. Marino, incomplete.
What the Falcons have done today is collapse the pocket around Dan Marino. They've taken the offensive lineman and pushed him in. Dan Marino likes to take the 3 to 5 step drops, get rid of that ball in a hurry. But the way that the defensive ends, and they run a stunt in the middle, they collapse the pocket right around Marino. There it is, collapsed at the end. Dan Marino feels the pressure. He gets rid of that ball in a hurry.
Troy Drayton being covered by Henry Crockett. Stopping the clock with 2:24 left in the first. Marino, 4 of 8 thus far, 55 yards, has the 1 interception that came back for a touchdown. Marino taking time out, leaving Miami with just 1 remaining. And we're still in the first quarter. Coming up tomorrow on CBS, feeling a little bloated from the holidays. Mark in particular. Lose pounds and gain laughs when Kevin James and Jerry Stiller star in The King of Queens. That's tomorrow on CBS. Inauspicious start for the Miami Dolphins here today. Trailing 21-0 in a game that doesn't mean all that much to Atlanta in terms of standings, but the Falcons hoping to finish at 14-2 this season. Miami looking to win its 11th game of the regular campaign.
It's a statement game for the Atlanta Falcons. The entire season they faced a lot of hurdles and obstacles, and they've crossed them and jumped over them, and they've met every expectation, and they've defeated those. And they want to prove to the rest of the NFL they are for real. And as some of the players stated yesterday, hey, we could face this team in the Super Bowl. You never know what's going to happen. But Rich Brooks has done an outstanding job with this team, not only as the interim head coach, but as a defensive coordinator. And his name is going to be on a lot of short lists in the NFL for head coaching positions this offseason.
First division division title since 1980, as the Falcons have already set a club record for victories in a season. Back in 1980, they won 12. They are now 13-2. The Falcons have taken a timeout. They had 12 men on the field. So wisely, they took the TO, but each team with just one remaining. 2:24 to play in the first quarter.
This Atlanta Falcon defense, the oldest defense per starter in the NFL, 8.1 years per starter. This team's come together this year as a team, and a lot of that has to do with the head coach, Dan Reeves.
Ronnie Bradford going to the locker room. Gives you some insight on this Atlanta defense.
Talking to some of the older players, Eugene Robinson and Ray Buchanan, he lets us be men. We don't have to go in on Saturdays early and meet for the entire day. We get time off during the week where we can spend time together as a team. And back with the Washington Redskins in the early 80s, we had teams like that. We went to Super Bowls because in our free time, we spent a lot of time together. So you know each other. Without verbal communication, the offensive line, you can make calls by a look. The defensive backs can just look at you and you know what coverage to go into.
Ray Buchanan told us the goal this year was to win 10 games. So they have even surpassed whatever expectation level they had coming into the regular season. Finally, 2nd and 10. Marino throwing. Football was lost at the end of the play. Will they rule it down is the question. Falcons claim they have it, and they do. Jimmy Johnson perturbed, as Oronde Gadsden could not hold on to the football.
A lot of times when you struggle and try to make something happen and try to do too much, you get caught in a situation and something bad happens. Oronde Gadsden tries to make a lot happen. Sheds defenders trying to push the ball down the field to play to pick up the first down, but the ball's just stripped underneath them. The Atlanta Falcons come up with the football, and that's just great hustle. They've done a great job. 21 fumbles. It's their 22nd. They lead the NFL in fumble recoveries.
Travis Hall with the recovery came flying in at the end of the play. Turnover ratio, the Falcons are now plus 16 on the season. 2:09 left in the first. Falcons have it back with Steve DeBerg handing off to Anderson. Picked up a couple on first down. And Mark, maybe this injury to Chris Chandler, hopefully it's not serious, is a blessing in disguise to some extent, because it makes the decision rather simple for Rich Brooks.
Absolutely, and I think in the back of his mind, he may be thinking the same thing. Hey, we can get Steve DeBerg some work just in case we may need him down the road. He hasn't taken a lot of snaps yet, but keeping Chris Chandler healthy is instrumental to this team and instrumental for their success. And as far as they go in the playoff, that's as far as Chris Chandler can lead them.
Anderson trying to push the pile ahead as he advances the football to the 14-yard line. Another gain of 2.5, setting up 3rd down and 6. Zach Thomas combining with Tim Bowens. And also we'll see how long Brooks will stick with Jamal Anderson, who is also such a pivotal part of this Atlanta offense, along with Chandler.
Those are the two keys to the offense, and every defensive coordinator throughout the entire season, when we talk to them, it's what's the first thing you have to do? I've got to stop the run. They say that in unison, and for Miami, they've got to stop Jamal Anderson. The only way that they'd be able to stop him is have him sit on the sidelines, and Rich Brooks may put him over there in the second half.
Anderson, the lone setback. DeBerg throwing it out for Anderson, and he dropped the football. Jamal Anderson upset at himself. He's a terrific receiver coming out of the backfield. And the Falcons forced a punt.
And not only that, Ian, the reason why he's upset, one, he didn't catch the football. But two, there was no one out there covering Jamal Anderson in the flat. He had a lot of real estate to gain if he catches this ball.
Dan Straczynski. His second punt of the day. It's Terrell Buckley waiting deep for Miami. High punt. Fair catch signal made by Buckley as he brings it in at the 37. Time right now for an NFL Today report. We go to New York and Jim Nantz.
All right, Ian. Vinny Testaverde has now become the Jets' all-time touchdown pass record holder in a season. He hit Kyle Brady for one, Curtis Martin for another. 17-0 Jets. Let's go back to you.
putting more pressure on the rest of the AFC East as the Jets continue to show that they are for real this season. They beat the teams that they had to beat down the stretch, including this Miami Dolphin team and the Buffalo Bills. Miami in the playoffs as a wild card. The Atlanta Falcons in as the NFC West champions. John Avery, little stutter step, couldn't quite get to the 40-yard line. Shane Dronette making the stop on first down. No gain. Time ticking away here in the first.
With John Avery, he's the type of back that needs to get to the outside of the defense. With his speed, he needs to circle the defense and get to the edge. Running him in between the tackles, I don't think he's going to get a lot of real estate in there. I think that's why you've got your bigger backs in there. That's why they started Ron Moore today, because they want to force the issue in between those tackles.
End of the first quarter, action-packed for the Atlanta Falcons. They lead the Miami Dolphins 21-0. Back to Atlanta after this. Rejoining you from the Georgia Dome, Atlanta with a 21-0 lead. Next Sunday on CBS, the NFL's second season begins. The chase for the Lombardi Trophy and World Championship rings. It all gets underway from Jacksonville. Check your local listings for game time. And remember, it all begins here on CBS with the NFL Today. Hope you'll be able to join us for that. Playoff action just around the corner on CBS. First play of the second quarter, Dan Marino throwing on second down, and Troy Drayton had it come off of his body and ricochet to O.J. McDuffie. Big gainer for the Miami Dolphins. And for McDuffie, he has set a new Dolphins record for most catches in a season. Strange way to do it.
But he'll take that. What a job of concentration by O.J. McDuffie of running his route, but keeping an eye where the ball may get thrown in the coverage area. And O.J. McDuffie comes down with his reception just because of concentration and huddle. Makes something happen out of a play that could have surely been an interception being tipped in the air.
In addition, McDuffie has gone over 1,000 yards for the first time in his career. John Avery on a spin. Avery getting across the 30-yard line and down to the 27. 6-yard gain on first down. William White, the strong safety, bottling him up.
Kippy Brown, the offensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins, goes with the counter trey where they pull one side of the line. The right side pulls to the left. They get a kick-out block and a turn up, but John Avery hits the hole, makes an outstanding spin move in the hole, gets blocking from the outside, and makes positive yardage following his blockers in the hole.
Avery thought he was going to get his first NFL start here today. Jimmy Johnson opting instead to go with Ron Moore, but Avery seeing a lot of action in the first quarter and more now in the second quarter. Marino, little floater on the sideline. Great grab by Lamar Thomas. He was working on Michael Booker, the corner. A 21-yard pass play.
That's concentration by Lamar Thomas. And talking to Dan Marino, he's getting more and more belief in Lamar Thomas, and he's realizing that he's a good go-to guy. But he comes back for this ball. This is all Lamar Thomas runs his route, turns and looks at the ball, and comes back for it, catches it around the back of Michael Booker, and has the sense and presence of mind to tippy-toe the sidelines and stay in bounds. Booker stepping in for Ronnie Bradford, who went to the locker room in the first quarter. Thomas making his second consecutive start. And wide receiver for the Dolphins. Dan Marino told us he always believed in Lamar Thomas, but Thomas finally stepped forward as the veteran that he is a week ago when they needed it badly. This receiving core has taken some knocks over the course of the year. McDuffie's had a huge season, but most people still believe McDuffie is really more of a complimentary guy. Well, this year he's the go-to guy, and a lot of people believe that because he usually catches 45, 50 passes a year, but he leads the NFL, and you consider most wide receivers when they lead the NFL have over 100 receptions. He's got 85 coming into this game today, but he's the guy when Dan Marino has to have something happen, he goes to O.J. McDuffie. First and goal from the 5. John Avery. Nowhere to run. John Burrow was there, and Avery ran into a brick wall. Cornelius Bennett also involved in the stop. A loss of 1. That's the key. When you have a small back in the backfield like John Avery, he's 5'9", 185, 190 pounds. When you get in the red area, inside the 20-yard line, it condenses the size of the field. The defense has a shorter area to play, and when it's a first down, they can come up and force the offensive line and put pressure on the running game and put more defenders in the box than the offensive line can handle.
On 2nd and goal from the 6. Play clock winding down. Marino is devoured. Shane Dronette and Cornelius Bennett came soaring through the middle. And the Miami offensive line, which is not 100%, not performing for Jimmy Johnson here today.
And that's not fair. John Avery doesn't have a chance to block the rushing linebacker Cornelius Bennett one-on-one. Plus, everybody else opens up their lanes. It's like a floodgate for Dan Marino. He doesn't have a chance to step up and throw the ball or even throw it away. But it's not fair for John Avery to block linebacker Cornelius Bennett one-on-one. I don't think he'll win that matchup the entire afternoon.
On 3rd and goal, Miami has taken a timeout. And that's it for the Dolphins. None remaining. A lot of time left in the second quarter. 21-0 Atlanta. Wow, here at the Georgia Dome, and you wonder if that has played a major role in Miami taking as many timeouts as they've taken. They've used all 3. Dolphins now facing a 3rd and goal from the 12. Marino with a 4-receiver set. Out of the shotgun. Marino, throw it. Flag was down on the play and a touchdown. What a grab by O.J. McDuffie. We'll see what the marker is.
97, defense, it's declined. Touchdown.
Cornelius Bennett called offsides as Miami finally gets on the board.
Cornelius Bennett trying to get a jump on the play. They go with their solid defense. Those 3 defenders up front. Cornelius Bennett is on the outside. He gets a jump down at the bottom of the screen. He's offside, but Dan Marino hangs in the pocket, and O.J. McDuffie comes up with a tremendous stab. Good blocking by the guys up front. All those rushers coming through those gaps, they pick them all, put them together, but a one-handed stab right there and hanging on to the football for the touchdown.
Olindo More's point after attempt was blocked. Play has already been whistled dead as Ray Buchanan tried to streak down the sideline. Just a shaky effort so far by the Miami Dolphins. Quite different from what we saw a week ago when they stepped forward with a big effort against Denver. They do get on the board, but it's 6. Atlanta in front.
CBS is sponsored by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. And by MasterCard. There are some things in life money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
Olindo Mare, for the first time in his career, has had an extra point blocked or missed. He was 64 of 64 as Travis Hall blocked it. And Mare will now kick it off for Miami, trailing 21-6 early on, still in the second quarter. Line drive kick. It'll be Tim Dwight. Does have a touchdown return this season as he crosses the 30-yard line and stumbled down at the 33. A 29-yard return. Another look at the Miami touchdown and Dan Marino.
Dan Marino hanging in the pocket, believing in his blockers up front. He was going to one guy on this play, and that's the wide receiver, O.J. McDuffie, coming down with a reception. But nice job of concentration by McDuffie of staying with the play. Dan Marino didn't look off any receiver. He knew he was going to his #1 receiver, O.J. McDuffie. They came up with a touchdown reception.
For McDuffie, it is his 7th touchdown of the season. Had only 1 all of last year. A career year for McDuffie. Falcons have it, 1st and 10 from the 32, and whistles stop play.
Movement up front by the Falcons, and They saw that the Dolphin defense was going to blitz. Somebody moved in there.
Ball start, 88 offense. Prior to the snap, still first down.
Second Atlanta penalty. O.J. Santiago, who has 2 touchdown receptions here today, gets caught.
Santiago on the outside. When you see the blitz coming, sometimes you get a little bit of a jump and you move, and it doesn't even look like O.J. moved. It looked like somebody on the inside of O.J. Santiago moved.
Now 1st and 15 as they back it up to the 27. Steve DeBerg in at quarterback for Atlanta. Jamal Anderson. This Miami defense did a tremendous job a week ago against Terrell Davis, the leading rusher in the NFL from Denver.
You see on the end of that play, Daryl Gardner, the big defensive tackle, doing his version of the Dirty Bird. I think the Dirty Bird should be reserved for guys that are under 325 pounds, maybe.
Also shouldn't be reserved for guys that are trailing 21-6 on the scoreboard.
The top of the screen over there, Daryl Gardner at the top. On the other side, that's Tim Bowens, the defensive tackle, but Daryl Bowens is running off the screen doing a little Dirty Bird dance, and I think these guys need to recapture the lead before they start running that Dirty Bird dance into the Falcons.
After the 2-yard pickup, Mathis the motion man. DeBerg looking to dump it off. Little floater, and nobody's there. The Atlanta Falcons got off to the 21-0 lead with 2 touchdown passes from Chandler to Santiago, and then a touchdown return for Ronnie Bradford. Chris Chandler exited the game following that second touchdown strike to Santiago with an injured clavicle, making the decision rather simple for Rich Brooks. Steve DeBerg in at QB. On a rollout, the 44-year-old stepping up and throwing. Finds the open man just shy of the 45-yard line. Ronnie Harris, former member of the Seattle Seahawks, on a 13-yard gain. Brock Marion, the free safety, bringing him down.
A nice job of protection up front. It's a speed protection where the quarterback rolls out right, but Steve DeBerg hangs in there, gets hit right at the end of the play, throwing the ball downfield. Good vision by quarterback Steve DeBerg, getting the ball downfield to Ronnie Harris, but nice job of the guys up front, sliding the protection down the line of scrimmage, giving DeBerg a chance to step up and complete the pass.
They move the chains, now a 1st and 10 from the 43. An opening for Jamal Anderson. Anderson moving ahead to the 48-yard line. 5-yard gain. Calvin Jackson and Derek Rogers combining on the stop.
Miami defense, they're not going to stand pat. They're going to blitz on 1st down and try to come up with a big play. And they're trying to get penetration and close off those gaps, but a nice job on the right side by guard Gene Williams of just folding down the defensive front of the Miami Dolphins.
Hard to believe that Jamal Anderson was the 25th running back taken back in the 1994 draft.
He was a steal.
7th round pick out of Utah. Anderson trying to run off tackle as he moves it to midfield. Picked up about 2. 3rd and 3 coming up for Atlanta. And it does bring up a point about scouts and their role in getting players to the next level. Certainly, some scouts are able to hit it on the head when the talent level is so obvious. But for a player like Anderson, a player like Zach Thomas, who was a 4th round pick, those are players that defy the scouts.
And a lot of that is because of size and the competition they play against. And you look at Zach Thomas, everybody wants that 6'3", 260-pound middle linebacker. Well, Zach Thomas is a shade under 6 foot, but he gets the job done. Plays special teams. So he doesn't come off the field to play. He's in every down, and he makes a lot of tackles, leads his team in tackles every year.
Out of the shotgun, DeBerg makes the connection to Terrence Mathis for another Atlanta 1st down. To the Miami 40-yard line, Brock Marion the tackle. A 10-yard pass play, and the Falcons are on the move.
And I think Dan Reeves has to be proud of this offensive team, the way that they're executing, give Steve DeBerg time to step up in the pocket, completing the crossing pattern to Terrence Mathis. They got 2 great wide receivers, both over 1,000 yards in receiving, in Mathis and Martin.
They are battling with the combination of Randy Moss and Chris Carter for the top yardage tandem in the NFL. They're currently in 2nd place behind the Minnesota combo. Jamal Anderson dragged down could not get to the original line of scrimmage. Lorenzo Bromell, the rookie out of Clemson.
And nobody blocks Lorenzo Bromell on the top of the screen. Just goes right around through offensive blockers, and nobody blocks him. Nobody puts a hand on him. Hits the running back, Jamal Anderson, in the backfield, comes down with a tackle. Smart play by the rookie.
Anderson now 7 carries shy of setting a new NFL record for most carries in a season. Bromell has had a terrific year for Jimmy Johnson's defense. 8 sacks, tying Bill Stanfield's club mark for most sacks by a rookie. DeBerg in some trouble, just forced to throw it away. DeBerg able to pop up after he took a lick on the play.
That's that pressure on the blitz right through the middle. Zach Thomas comes through on the outside, Robert Harris, and dump quarterback Steve DeBerg, but he's smart enough. He's been around and seen every blitz there is in a book, probably 10,000 times, and he's smart enough to get rid of the ball. He feels the presence of the rush coming, the white jerseys coming after him, just throw the ball away, and Steve DeBerg does that.
9th play of the drive as the Falcons try to deal with a 3rd and 13 from the 43. Jamal Anderson and Harold Green are in the backfield. This is DeBerg stepping up and firing. Sideline route to Tony Martin. First down, Atlanta. 17 yards on the play. Jimmy Johnson hoping that the officials saw it a different way as Martin was walking that tightrope on the sideline.
He's one-on-one with Sam Madison. He beats him off the press off the line of scrimmage, and he stops. Sam Madison looks at him. He's got him turned around, but it's a great job of Tony Martin of keeping his eye on his quarterback and running a precise route. That's what you have to do against the press. When cornerbacks press you on the line of scrimmage, you have to run precise routes if you want to catch the football.
Tough call to make. Couldn't quite tell if Martin was able to get that second foot in bounds, but they give it to Atlanta. And the Falcons give it to Jamal Anderson. This Miami defense just came in fired up to face the number 2 rusher in the NFL after limiting Terrell Davis, the number 1 rusher in the NFL, to his worst day of the season a week ago.
This defense is ranked 5th in rushing, and talking to defensive coordinator George Hill this week, he said these guys want to play hard. His players want to go out there and play hard because they don't want to fall down in the stats. They're a 2nd-ranked total defense. The big guys up front do a great job. Those big tackles of Daryl Gardner and Tim Bowens do a good job of taking on 3 offensive blockers. They always take on the guard, then they reach out and try to grab a tackle or a center, so it frees up Zach Thomas in the middle.
On 2nd and 10 from the 26, Mathis in motion. Blitz coming again. Over the head of Kozlowski, the fullback, who has stepped in to replace Bob Christian, out for the season with a torn ACL and MCL in his left knee. Kozlowski normally the 2nd tight end in this Atlanta offense.
The Miami defense isn't sitting pat. They're coming right up the gut, blitzing quarterback Steve DeBerg. The running back Jamal Anderson did a good job of picking up Zach Thomas, but he couldn't handle both of them. That's what Miami tries to do when they blitz. They try to outnumber you.
3rd and 10 from the 26. Anderson by himself in the backfield. A 3-receiver look for Atlanta. On the draw play, Jamal Anderson. He'll come up well short of the first down as he got it to the 23-yard line. Picked up 3, maybe 4. And the field goal unit will come on for the Falcons.
This is an easy game plan for Zach Thomas, and he's blitzed every play. Here he blitzes through, tries to get to the quarterback, but it's a late handoff, but he doesn't give up on the play. He tracks down Jamal Anderson from behind and gets a piece of him right at the end of the play. Outstanding hustle by middle linebacker Zach Thomas.
This will be a 40-yard attempt for Morton Anderson. Anderson with 115 points on the season. Field goals, he is 22 of 26. The ball came right back to him. Flags down on the play. That one just never looked pretty.
Yeah, but the outside rusher for Miami got a jump on the play. He was 2 yards in the backfield before the ball snapped, and Morton Anderson will get another shot at this.
Defense will penalize 5 yards on replay the 4th down.
Brock Marion. The first Miami penalty of the afternoon.
And right there, Brock Marion's 2 steps into the backfield before the ball snapped. And It gets blocked, but to no avail. Morton Anderson gets another shot at it. And I was down in the locker room, and I talked to Morton Anderson earlier, and he said he flew his mom and dad over for Denmark. And I said, you flew him over for the holidays? He said, well, he always gets a Christmas duck cooked by his mom, so he flew him over for that. And I said, that's the only reason. He looked at me and just nodded and smiled. Yeah, I wanted to see him, but I wanted my Christmas duck.
That's a long-distance duck.
That's a long-distance duck.
This is not a long-distance field goal. 35 yards away. Morton Anderson bangs it through. And the Falcons add to their lead. 4:47 mark of the second quarter. It's 24-6. Atlanta.
Send your customers 2-day holiday packages with FedEx and we'll deliver, even on Saturdays, for an extra $10.
Send your customers 2- to 3-day holiday packages with priority mail and we'll deliver, even on Saturdays, at no extra charge.
Send your customers 2-day holiday packages with UPS and we'll deliver. But not on Saturdays. Sorry.
So, what's your priority?
These days, everything's faster. So how come pain relief isn't faster? Introducing Advil Liquid Gels. On tough pain, they're stronger and faster than extra-strength Tylenol. New Advil Liquid Gels. Pain relief just got faster.
This Super Bowl Sunday, the Prize Patrol could surprise you with $31 million. The one and only Publishers Clearinghouse Sweepstakes. Now, bigger than ever.
Cool.
Hi, I'm Dan Marino of the Miami Dolphins. The NFL and the United Way are making a difference. The NFL, the United Way, and you. The power of teamwork.
The Great American Race, the Daytona 500, only on CBS Sports.
Chris Chandler, a major reason why this Atlanta Falcon team is the highest scoring unit in club history. 428 points, breaking the previous high set back in 1981. On the return, Nate Jotcat spun down at the 35-yard line. Craig Sauer making the play on special teams.
He fumbles this ball and almost drops it right there, but his concentration keeping it, comes up and tries to make a play, makes an excellent play returning in this, zigging and zagging, missing tacklers. Nice return by Nate Jotcat. Then he hobbles off the field, a 37-yard return, and Jimmy Johnson's concerned with injuries with his team. They're injured on offense, injured on defense, and now on special teams. The normal returner is John Avery.
There are also some rumors that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar might be in jeopardy of possibly missing the playoffs. That concussion apparently very serious. Inactive today with Ron Moore getting the start, but John Avery seeing most of the action in the backfield. Marino over the middle. That ball was trapped. Stanley Pritchett. Coming up next, it's more NFL action on CBS. Some will see the Seattle Seahawks take on the Denver Broncos, while others will see the San Diego Chargers versus the Arizona Cardinals. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Arizona trying to qualify for the postseason as they meet the Chargers. Denver, final tune-up before the playoffs get underway, and the Broncos showing some holes here at the tail end of December. They don't have that same air of invincibility. Marino was able to get rid of it to Pritchett, but on the play was Henri Crockett.
Dan Marino's been harassed the entire afternoon. He hasn't had a chance, and they're putting pressure on up front by the front four guys, and when they need an additional blitzer, they'll bring him from the outside. But Henri Crockett does a good job of forcing issue. They force Dan Marino out of the pocket, and that's Shane Dronette in the middle and Ezra Tuololo in the middle, getting pressure and forcing Dan Marino out of the pocket. He doesn't like to run out. When he likes to make a move in the pocket, he likes to step up and slide, but he can't run like he used to 10 years ago.
After the gain of one, a four-receiver set for Marino. He's got time. Floating one to the sideline in stride. Great spin move. Oronde Gadsden. Devin Bush finally made the tackle. You could not time that one any better.
And this is as pretty a fade route you're ever going to want to see. He gets off the press, runs down the line of scrimmage. Dan Marino drops that ball right in there to Rondé Gaston in full stride. Then he makes a move upfield to spin to get positive yardage after the catch. That's two guys right on the same wavelength. The quarterback, Dan Marino, putting that ball where it has to be in full stride, and Rondé Gaston getting the yards after catch and forcing the issue to the defense, taking the ball down the field.
A 50-yard pass play, setting up 1st and 10 from the Atlanta 16. John Avery trying to stick the helmet down and advance the football as he crossed the 15-yard line. Jesse Tuggle and Eugene Robinson, a couple of veterans, in on the stop. A pickup of 2. Gadsden's story has been well documented. Forget about the Arena League now. Rondé Gadsden is a legitimate NFL receiver.
And the knock on Rondé Gaston's always been, well, he's slow. He doesn't have the speed. He's only a 4.7 guy. Well, he's got football speed. When he steps on the field to play, he makes things happen.
Yet another player that you really cannot form opinions on strictly off of the clock.
I was one of those guys. I ran about a 6'5" for you. I still played a couple years in this league.
Hey, was it 6'5", Mark?
Maybe a 6'8", but I have to exaggerate a little bit.
Coming up on 2 minutes left. Play whistle dead as flags came down. Longest catch of the year for Gadsden, that 50-yard reception.
Ball start prior to the snap. Number 74, offense. Still 2nd down.
Johnny Greer, our referee, one of the best in the business, telling us that Brent Smith was called for the penalty. Second flag on Miami this afternoon as the clock stops with 2:06 to play. First half. They let the clock run down as we hit the 2-minute warning. We'll return with Atlanta in front, 24-6 at the Georgia Dome.
Adamstown, Pennsylvania, a true story. At a flea market, a man bought a frame for $4. When he brought it home, he made a $2 million discovery, an original copy of the Declaration of Independence. When it comes to retirement, you can depend on luck or you can depend on us, Sun America. Ask about our personal retirement portfolios and don't leave your future to chance. Sun America, the retirement specialist.
Ding dong! Oh, the champagne's not Corbel. Uh-oh, gotta go. Ding dong! Oh, the champagne's not Corbel. Uh-oh, gotta go.
Corbel, official champagne of the Millennium Celebration.
Now there's important news about relieving the aches and fever from the flu. In new guidelines, what pain reliever do flu experts prefer the most? The one you've trusted all along. The medicine in extra strength Tylenol. Tylenol, the first choice for flu relief.
If you're a hospital corporation and you're cooking the books to put one over on Medicare, he is the last guy you want looking over your shoulder. 60 Minutes, tonight.
The men of the Turk family have been protecting the people of Chicago for 3 generations. They're cops first.
This is not a job for heroes, Joey.
Family always. William Devane stars.
Mother's already given up on the rest of us, but you're her great hope, so don't break her heart, son.
Turks, coming Thursday, January 21st to CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Sun America, the retirement specialist, and by Corbel, the official champagne of the Millennium Celebration.
Back in Atlanta, where the Falcons have the 24-6 advantage. 2-minute warning here in the second quarter. Miami Dolphins, though, threatening. A 2nd and 13 from the Atlanta 19-yard line. Marino on the quick toss. Troy Drayton remaining on his feet as he got down to the 9-yard line. Still short of a first down, a 10-yard pickup. Coming up, the NASDAQ Amex halftime report. Join Jim, Marcus, Brent, and Michael Lombardi for all the scores and highlights and playoff updates. Plus, Kevin Harlan and Sam Weiss preview the Seattle-Denver matchup. That's all coming up on the NASDAQ Amex halftime report. 3rd and 3 for the Dolphins from the 9. 3-receiver formation. Marino putting it upstairs, and it's intercepted. Michael Booker. Booker lost the football. He was fortunate, though. Chuck Smith was there. So the Dolphins come up empty on this possession. And the Falcons get the football back with 1:05 left on the clock.
And nothing seems to be going right for the Miami Dolphins. And on the outside, Rondé Gadsden's trying to push Michael Booker, but he plays the ball, plays off the press, does an outstanding job of coming down with the ball, then turning it up the field and making something happen. He gets it stripped out at the end, but they still recover the ball by Chuck Smith, the defensive end.
First interception of the season for Booker, the second-year pro out of Nebraska. Atlanta football when we come back.
Johnson, I'd like to see some ideas on saving the company money. I'll be back first thing in the morning.
Think. That's the dumbest. Think. Help.
Well, Johnson, Staples. That'll save us a lot of money. You are a genius.
For all the supplies you need at guaranteed low prices, it's Staples, plus free delivery.
Mike Ditka for 1-800-COLLECT.
Hey, come on, ladies! Hey, get mad! Make believe I just insulted your mama. Or make believe I just traded you. Make believe I just called you collect without using 1-800-COLLECT.
Hey, but it's 10 cents a minute every evening with 1-800-COLLECT.
Stop, guys. I was only kidding. Stop.
1-800-COLLECT. 10 cents a minute every evening all week long.
For years, Intel technicians have been making PCs smarter. Now they face their greatest challenge ever.
Hey, no one messes with my brain until I get sprinkles. Suckers.
Now anyone can have all the brain power they want. Just look for a PC with an Intel processor inside.
By eliminating covalent inhibitors, we create triple-dense carbohydrates and thus the so-called super donut. Ooh. Many of you mock my interest in the pastry sciences.
What do you have inside?
Can Ray handle spending one night in his brother's room?
Hey, could you, put a shirt on?
Everybody loves Raymond.
And some underpants?
CBS Monday.
Second interception of the day for Dan Marino. Third turnover overall.
And Dan Marino's trying to get the fade route on the outside. He just throws this ball out to where he hopes his wide receiver is. And Michael Booker makes an outstanding play on the ball and comes down with the interception.
The ball goes back to the spot of the fumble. So from the 24. Jamal Anderson squirting through a hole as he gets to the 30-yard line. 6-yard pickup. The NASDAQ Amex halftime report coming up momentarily. Jim Nantz, Marcus Allen, Brett Jones, Michael Lombardi, scores and highlights. And a preview from Kevin Harlan and Sam Weish. Seattle and Denver all coming up on the NASDAQ Amex halftime report. Dan Marino, 4 touchdown passes a week ago against the Denver Broncos in his duel with John Elway. Today, the Dolphins in the red zone, a bit spotty. Anderson putting the head down. He had to get to the 35-yard line. Come up a little bit short, and it doesn't matter. Final play of the first half, a sold-out Georgia Dome, enjoying what they saw through the first 2 quarters of action. 24-6, Falcons leading the
regular season, and the Falcons taking advantage of the 3 Dolphin turnovers. Chandler, 3 passes, 3 completions, 2 touchdowns, but then the injury, Brent.
Yeah, strained lower right back. He probably won't return today. And this whole game has been about pass protection. You know, the Falcons have given their quarterbacks a little bit better than Dan Marino's been getting. He's been rushed, he's been hurried, he's been hit.
CBS Sports presentation of the NASDAQ Amex halftime report is sponsored by the NASDAQ Amex Market Group, the market of markets.
Immerse yourself in Greater Fort Lauderdale and
Miami 24-6. CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League will continue after a word from your local station. Atlanta with the Falcons in front 24-6. Welcome back, everybody. Ian Eagle along with Mark May, and the Atlanta Falcons got off to the very quick start in the first quarter. Miami really didn't know what hit them, and very little was happening offensively. We saw some signs in the second quarter, but in the end, Miami's still in a hole.
And this team's very frustrated right now. They're not doing anything right in any facet of the game, offense, defense, or special teams. But what really shocked Miami was quarterback Chris Chandler.
Yep.
Coming right out of the blocks, 3 for 3, 2 touchdowns, 118 yards passing. It's almost like if you want your quarterback rating up there, you do what he did and get out of the game.
Chandler, though, did leave the game because of a lower back injury, and he was replaced by Steve DeBerg, the 44-year-old, and odds are Chris Chandler is not coming back in the second half, and it's something that we discussed at great lengths. Rich Brooks stepping in as the head coach for this team for Dan Reeves, still recovering from heart surgery. Reeves expected to return for the playoffs. Brooks had that decision out there for himself, and it was pretty much made for him when Chandler went down with the injury. Get him out of the game.
And I think you said it best during the game. It's a blessing in disguise. He didn't have to make the decision. The decision was already made.
Another injury to update you on. Jason Taylor, broken right clavicle. Talented defensive lineman for the Miami Dolphins. He will not return. He will be examined when they go down to the Miami area, and that could be a key injury for the Miami Dolphins as they head into the postseason. Already Kareem Abdul-Jabbar out with a concussion. Richmond, Webb, Kevin Donnelly both not starting on the offensive line today for Miami. Webb inactive. Left tricep injury, and Donnelly had arthroscopic knee surgery performed about a month ago. Halftime stats. The turnover's a key. Time of possession. Yes, it favors Miami, but keep in mind how Atlanta scored. Bang, bang. First play of the game, a touchdown.
And right off the bat, they had Miami reeling, and they couldn't figure out how to stop this team and how to move the ball offensively. But I think a key in the second half is Dan Marino won, but the offensive line protecting Dan Marino is also key for the Miami Dolphins to come back in this game.
Dolphins needing a win to clinch home field advantage in the first round, or a New England loss to the Jets. And New York in front of New England 17-3 as they have started play in the third quarter.
To the snap.
Mike Sheldon.
Still first down.
Called for the penalty. Third flag of the day on Miami. And again, a very shaky way to start play here in the third quarter.
Not only that, going back to last week, here's a team on Monday night did not have a penalty on either side of the ball. The Miami Dolphins coming into today, they haven't done anything right on offense or defense. And starting the second half off with a penalty and ending the first half off with a turnover as a downer, that's not how Jimmy Johnson wants to start the second half of this game.
That was the fourth time in franchise history they win a game without a penalty. Dolphins trailing 24-6. Marino out for McDuffie on first down. O.J. McDuffie with an 11-yard reception, working on Ray Buchanan. So they get back the yardage that was taken off the penalty and then some.
And Ray Buchanan's playing off a little bit in the second half of O.J. McDuffie, giving him a little bit of cushion to let him have the underneath routes, but he's not happy that O.J. caught that ball. Usually these cornerbacks for Atlanta, they want to go up and pressure the wide receivers from the opposition, and they want to stay right on the line of scrimmage in their face and get their hands on it.
A couple of milestones for McDuffie today, going over 1,000 yards for the first time in his career and also becoming the single-season leader in Miami Dolphins history for receptions. Ron Moore coughs up the football. And the Falcons have it. Travis Hall, the recovery. Third time he has recovered a fumble this season. No Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Ron Moore got the start in his place.
The Atlanta Falcons are the best at stripping the ball and coming up with fumbles. They're 23rd this season. They lead the NFL, but that's just great hustle of getting around the football. Ron Moore hasn't touched the ball since early in the first quarter, so it's interesting to see he'd come out and start the second quarter without being warmed up.
They won't give him credit for it, but Tim Ruddy, the center, actually forced the fumble.
As an offensive lineman, that's one thing you don't want to get credit for, is forcing a fumble from your own team.
You don't usually keep those numbers, do you? Around contract time, it doesn't come up.
And that's one thing you want to keep in the back pocket.
Early third quarter. This is DeBerg off of play action. Looking for it all. Touchdown, Tony Martin. This Falcons offense wastes little time. Terrell Buckley burned on the play. Martin goes over 100 yards on the day. His first touchdown catch of the afternoon, 6th of the season.
And the Atlanta Falcons offense did it again. They did it early with O.J. Santiago. They faked out the defense of the Miami Dolphins by faking it to Jamal Anderson. The entire defense, they run with running back Jamal Anderson. Steve DeBerg just plants in the pocket, pulls up. It's the play-action fakes that's really hurt the Miami Dolphin defense this afternoon.
Extra point from Anderson as Tony Martin found his fan club here at the Georgia Dome to give him the touchdown ball. Big smile on the face of Steve DeBerg. Why not?
All right, Captain, we're going to...
Tony's mom, Sarah Martin, celebrating a bit after her son just caught his 6th touchdown of the season. We've seen the Dirty Bird all right. Nate Jotkat upended at the 19-yard line. You think this game meant something to the Atlanta Falcons? They're certainly playing like it did.
They wanted to prove they're for real, and they are for real.
Steve DeBerg stepping in for Chris Chandler, and DeBerg with a touchdown strike to Martin.
Watch the defense flow of the fake to Jamal Anderson, and DeBerg will come out on the open boot, and he's still the best at 44 years of age of faking to the back and play-action pass. Everybody's fooled on the play, stepping up in the pocket, throwing the ball right over the top to Tony Martin on the post pattern. Nice move by Martin. He gets grabbed by the face mask, gets off Terrell Buckley, makes a plant right there, heads right for the goalpost. Right there, it's a post pattern, and it's a nice job of the offensive execution of the 44-year-old quarterback, Steve DeBerg.
Martin, a big play receiver who was acquired for a second-round pick from San Diego. On the dump off for Pritchett. Stanley Pritchett making something happen on the sideline. Steve DeBerg, 44 years old.
I think it's just amazing he ran the 50 yards down to the end zone to hug his teammates at 44 years old. I want to be upright and walking at 44 years old, but that's just a magnificent story about Steve DeBerg. Retires, coaches for the New York Giants with Dan Reeves, comes out of retirement because they thought he could still play in this league, and he's proven that he can.
31-6 Atlanta following the 7-yard gain by Pritchett. This Dolphins defense is just not used to this. And a first down throw to O.J. McDuffie. Ray Buchanan combining with Eugene Robinson, 12-yard pickup. Miami defense came in ranked number 2 in the NFL. The most points they have allowed this season has come here today. Zach Thomas and company told us they would be doing the Dirty Bird if they scored on any defensive touchdowns.
I think they'll be holding that Dirty Bird for a long time to come.
On the handoff for Avery. He lost the football. Scooped up by Eugene Robinson. Nothing is working for the Miami Dolphins. 5th turnover of the day.
Jimmy Johnson on the sideline just standing there biting his lip. He hasn't erupted yet, but he's got to feel that nothing can turn right for his Dolphins today. Throwing interceptions, turning the ball over, fumbles. They just can't get anything going offensively, any momentum going, and they have to hold on to the football. And I think with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar out of this offense, that really hurts this offense. They can't control the line of scrimmage with the injuries up front to the offensive line, but they need a running back like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in there to hold on to the football and get positive yardage for the Miami Dolphins.
Shane Dronette forced the fumble, and the Falcons take over 1st and 10 from the Miami 36. Jamal Anderson bouncing off a tackler. Anderson breaks to the clear. High kicks it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. You want to talk about efficient. 2 offensive plays run by the Falcons this half. 2 touchdowns.
And it's all up to Jamal Anderson. First, it's the play-action fake to him that opens up the entire defense for Steve DeBerg to throw the touchdown pass. Then on this play, staying with his offensive blockers, being patient, ramming the ball in the line of scrimmage, then cutting the ball to his left, finding the hole, and taking off to the end zone. Believing in this guys up front of holding and sustaining their blocks and taking off between the Miami defense because he knows they're going to pursue to the point of attack.
Extra point from Morton Anderson. My, oh my. The Atlanta Falcons have certainly made a statement here today. With 12:24 left in the third,
Falcons 38-6.
Tim and Ed are
Sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. And by Killian's Irish Red, which reminds you one look says a lot.
Jamal Anderson, with that touchdown, now holds the Falcon record for most TDs in a season, 16, snapping the previous mark that he currently shared with Andre Rison until that run. Bouncing ball to Nate Jacquet. First time he has returned kicks this season as Jacquet gets to the 28-yard line.
Jamal Anderson takes the handoff for Steve DeBerg, but right here, all the defenders will converge where Jamal Anderson's going to hit. He's going to take it back to the outside, but watch 88. Oche Santiago will stay with his block, and the rest of the offensive line, they stay with their blocks. They go downfield and chip. He's in the middle of the line of scrimmage, bounces off to his left. Slipping right there is Sam Madison on the play, but running back Jamal Anderson, having confidence in his guys up front that they will sustain their blocks, finding the cutback lane and heading off into the end zone.
Again, Miami can still get home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs if New England loses to the Jets. Currently, it's a score working in the Dolphins' favor. Complete to Lamar Thomas. For a moment there, you thought the football might be jarred loose again. A 22-yard pass play, and Lamar Thomas better watch it. He's celebrating an awful lot. Also had some words for the Falcons players on the sidelines. His team is down 38-6. Just go back to the huddle.
Absolutely, and that's not the smart thing to do. And you want to do it when you're up, but not when you're in a hostile environment at the opponent's home in front of their bench when you're being routed by the opponent. You have to play smarter than that as a player. Just go out and play football, make plays, and try to score points for your team.
5 turnovers for the Dolphins. It has turned into 21 Atlanta points. Still a lot of time to play here. We're in the third. Marino in some traffic. Makes the connection to Troy Drayton. 2 plays, and the Dolphins move the football into Atlanta territory. Line of scrimmage will be the 29-yard line. Cornelius Bennett making the tackle. But again, big picture, yes, Miami can still get that first home game, which is important considering they're 7-1 at pro player. But you don't want to have this kind of effort heading into the postseason.
Not at all. You want to hit the postseason on a high note, hopefully a winner, at least playing well at the end of the season. And Jimmy Johnson, he's got that on the back of his mind. He's probably wondering what's going on. We've got a playoff game next week.
On 1st and 10. Avery. John Avery getting across the 25-yard line to the 23, a pickup of 6. Ronnie Bradford back on the field for Atlanta, combined on the stop with Keith Brooking. 10.5 to play in the third quarter, with the Falcons in front 38-6. Here's the wild card scenario. Dolphins have already clinched the playoff berth. Dolphins win would assure them home field advantage in the first round. A Dolphins loss and a Patriots loss, and they will also be at home. Right now, the Jets leading New England 24-3. Marino on a cross. Brought down to the 20-yard line as Henri Crockett made the tackle on Gadsden.
And I like the way that Rich Brooks has his defense playing. The oldest defense by age in the NFL. But these guys hustle to the football and the point of attack. Has a nice linebacking crew. And he said last year when they brought in Ray Buchanan, he was the key to their defense because they could put him out there one-on-one and they didn't have to worry about him. They didn't have to roll coverages to him. And they knew they had a solid guy at cornerback, and then they built around him.
On 1st and 10. Avery is stacked up. Picked up 1.5 yards, maybe 2 on first down. Also with this Atlanta defense, they have not allowed a 100-yard rusher since back in late October, and that's the only 100-yard rusher they've allowed this season. That's Curtis Martin for the Jets. Over the last 23 games, Martin is the only opponent to go over 100 yards against this Atlanta defense. That's quite a streak.
And not only that, it's not just great defensive play. It's great schemes by the defensive coordinator, Rich Brooks, putting his players in the right position to stop opponents and force them into 3rd and long situations.
Marino on the quick slant. Lamar Thomas flagged down on the play as Thomas was brought down at the 11-yard line. That's short of a first down. Michael Booker making the tackle. We're seeing backups on this Atlanta defensive line, and I think Rich Brooks is now going to mix and match for the remaining 8:41 of the third, and of course the fourth quarter as well.
And I not only think that's not a good decision, that is a great decision. Get your starters off the bench. They sharpened their wares. They were out there for the first half. They played very well in the first half. Get them off the field, because I think it was important to him in the back of his mind that Chris Chandler did get dinged early in the game.
Number 20, defense. First down.
Michael Booker called for a holding, the cornerback, and it gives Miami a first down.
Lamar Thomas on the outside. Michael Booker, you have to get those hands off after the 5 yards, but it's a good fight when you're pressing wide receivers on the line of scrimmage as a cornerback. You want to try to jam them to disrupt the timing. And talking to some of the cornerbacks and the safety Eugene Robinson coming into the game, he said that's the first thing you want to do is disrupt Dan Marino's timing so he can't get rid of the ball on the 3rd and 5-step drops.
Gadsden and McDuffie, the receivers. Marino, quick drop, quick throw, low throw as Gadsden was able to bring it in. And he's brought down inside the 2-yard line by Cornelius Bennett.
And it's one part of the game I really like about Oronde Gadsden coming in for the Miami Dolphins. Very physical as a wide receiver, has great hands, but he'll run over opponents and get extra yardage. And here, he just takes the ball and forces the issue towards the goal line.
Terrific concentration to go down low to get that football. Dan Marino now 7 of 7 in this half. You see Gadsden's numbers, 3 catches, 61 yards as he goes to the sideline. A tight formation for Miami. In the backfield, Pritchett and Avery. John Avery is brought down. Henri Crockett. He came firing in.
There's 2 things that go bad in a goal line situation. One, you try to run the ball north and south, straight down the teeth of the defense. And with a small back like John Avery, with his speed, if you're going to try to get to the outside, you get there in a hurry. You don't go laterally, then try to make a move. Once you stutter step, the defense can hone in on that back. The linebackers come firing through those gaps. And Henri Crockett does a great job of coming through the teeth of the offense, right up the gut, and making the tackle on John Avery.
His brother, of course, Zach, plays for Jacksonville. On 2nd and goal. Avery trying to stutter step. He's not going anywhere. John Avery loses yardage on the play. Chuck Smith was involved.
And there's a lesson for John Avery to learn in a short yardage and goal line situation. Don't take the ball laterally. Don't dance. Your offensive linemen are trying to get into a block and get movement and prevent penetration. But if you dance laterally, that gives the defense a chance because the field's condensed to make a play and stop you for short yardage or a loss on the play.
Bernie Parmalee has checked in. This will be 3rd and goal coming up.
Please reset the game clock to 6:44.
Ninth play of the drive for Miami. We are in the 3rd quarter. Dolphins down by a bunch. 4-receiver look. In motion, McDuffie. Marino sets, throws, too high. Flag comes down. He was looking for McDuffie. Johnny Greer, having sorted it out, will let us know.
Pass interference. 97, defense. First down.
Cornelius Bennett heard his number called, just shook his head.
He can't believe the call that was made by the officials. He's out there talking about it. And here at the end of the play, just before the play gets there, that's a good call by the officiating crew. He had his hands on the wide receiver. You can't do that. You have to wait till the ball is there. He just mistimed it, but that's a good call by the officials.
So they'll set the football at the 5-yard line. with a 1st and goal. New set of downs for Miami to work with.
Now I've got a question. They've got to get that big back in there. They've got to get Ronald Moore or Bernie Parlay in the game. They've got John Avery trying to run the ball in a short yardage goal line situation. They need to get a bigger, more powerful back in the backfield.
We're just trying to get the...
1st and goal for the Miami Dolphins. Football now spotted at the 3. 38-6 Atlanta. A tune-up for both teams as they both head into the postseason. Falcons will have a first-round bye. Miami hoping to be at home next week. Marino, pump fake. Throws it out of bounds. McDuffie in the vicinity. Ray Buchanan right there with him. The red zone has been a problem for Miami today.
And it's because of the defense of the Atlanta Falcons. And Ray Buchanan does a nice job outside one-on-one against O.J. McDuffie. And he's out in the flat. Dan Marino's got nobody but one receiver out in this pattern. That's O.J. McDuffie. The whole defense is looking at Ray Buchanan, but he's right there shadowing O.J. McDuffie, doing a nice job staying in front of him.
In the red zone so far, Miami 1 of 3 today in scoring opportunities. 2 turnovers. Marino dealing with a very loud crowd here at the Georgia Dome. Throw it. Incomplete. Stanley Pritchett was short of the goal line. Jesse Tuggle was there step for step. 3rd and goal coming up.
Dan Marino, which is probably one of the best quarterbacks of all time of reading defense, isn't giving his offense a chance to complete a pass. And this is why he's not looking off one receiver and going to the next one. He's keying on one receiver, and that gives the defense an advantage to watch Dan Marino's head in his eyes, because they're going to target and they're going to zone in on that one receiver he's going to.
Jimmy Johnson's team in the playoffs for the 18th time in club history. They just don't want to end the regular season on this kind of note. Marino takes a timeout. 6:08 left in the 3rd. It's the Atlanta Falcons all over the Miami Dolphins. 38-6.
My mountain refreshment, faster than you could say lager lugger. I am Beer Man.
Hey, Beer Stud.
You see a business deal. At Sprint, we see data. Data that lays the groundwork, that allows people to collaborate. It's the sharing of information that helps build business. And with Sprint Ion, our integrated on-demand network, we'll soon be linked together with even greater ease, flexibility, and power. Because business runs on data, and data runs on Sprint.
Over the years, many have tried to duplicate the success of 60 Minutes. But if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. Join Dan Rather, Bob Simon, Vicki Mabry, and Charlie Rose for 60 Minutes 2, the new Wednesday edition of A Sunday Tradition, coming to CBS January 13th.
Bob, you're actually killing me, man. I'm trying to get my game face on. You're up here singing. I believe I can fly.
A tradition unlike any other. The Masters on CBS Sports.
During their 8-game winning streak, the Falcons defense has not allowed more than 21 points to any opponent. They've held Miami to 6 so far today. Their only losses this season came to San Francisco and the New York Jets. Falcons 13-2. Miami with a 3rd and goal from the 3. In motion, Parmalee. Marino, quarterback keeper. How do you like that? Touchdown, Miami.
What a call by offensive coordinator Kippy Brown. Dan Marino does not run the ball on purpose at all. The only time he runs is if he's scrambled and flushed out of the pocket. But this is a great call, a la John Elway, a quarterback draw in the red area. That's a magnificent call. It definitely caught the defense off guard because they would never think Dan Marino would run the ball in this situation. But it was a tremendous call by offensive coordinator Kippy Brown.
First rushing touchdown of the season for Dan Marino. Extra point is good for Malindo Mare. So the Dolphins do put a touchdown on the board, but they have a long way to go. Even the Atlanta defense smiling after that one. Marino in for the rushing TD. He has a lot.
He was Rockets and by Castrol GTX Drive Hard.
The Falcons defense caught off guard as Miami gets a rushing touchdown from Dan Marino, his first in over 4 years. December 12, 1994 against Kansas City. On the onside kick. Miami has the football. Flag down on the play. Falcons, of course, claiming it's against the Miami special teams unit.
But I like the call, the way that the kickers now can dink the ball right on the turf, and it goes up about 25 feet in the air, go down and knock the defenders of the receiving team down for the Atlanta Falcons and clear out the path for your guy coming down and receiving the ball. That's an excellent job of special teams play, and a great call by Jimmy Johnson and Mike Westhoff, the special teams coach of the Miami Dolphins.
Maybe they got Dwight Hollier.
The ball hit the ground first.
Dolphins also did it against the Jets. So Miami trailing 38-13. Ball hit the ground. No flag on the play. It's been picked up. Visit the NFL online. Get ready for the wild card games with playoff previews and video clips from historical postseason matchups at NFL.com or America Online at keyword Team NFL. Malindo Mare giving his Dolphins team the football back on a 1st and 10 from the 43. Marino popped up in the air, nearly picked off. William White had an opportunity for the INT. Ray Buchanan involved in the coverage with McDuffie.
That's a nice job of coverage by Ray Buchanan. When we talked with him yesterday, he told us that I'm going to shadow their best receiver, O.J. McDuffie. And he's got the quickest feet in the NFL. If you listen to Eugene Robinson, he says he doesn't get beat by anybody. He's had an outstanding year, deserves to go to the Pro Bowl, and he is. But no one can beat him, and he always stays with his man, and he takes out the best receiver every week.
7 interceptions this season. Had some years in Indianapolis where he could have gone to the Pro Bowl, but never got the nod. Miami keeping it on the ground. Sean Swada making the tackle on John Avery as he moved the football to the 45-yard line. Pick up of a couple. 3rd and 8 coming up for the Dolphins. And the clock continues to roll. 5.5 left in the 3rd. Dolphins had an impressive drive on their last possession, but it was the kind of drive that if you're leading the football game by a 38-6 count, you're proud of. If you're trailing 38-6, it took up too much time, more than 6 minutes.
But they need to score in a hurry and score in bunches, and if you're eating up the clock the way they did on the last drive, it hurts them more than helps them.
Out of the shotgun, Marino. That's 1st down yardage. Dan Marino again making the connection to Oronde Gadsden. New set of downs for Miami. Time for an NFL Today report. Jim Nantz in New York.
Ian, you could build a case for Vinny Testaverde for the AFC MVP. He has now thrown his 4th touchdown pass of the day to a 4th different receiver, this time Keyshawn. And the Jets are pulling away from the Patriots 4th quarter. Now let's go back to you.
Well, Jim, it's looking as if Miami's going to have that home game nonetheless. They needed either a victory here today or a loss from New England to clinch home field advantage in the 1st round. Marino airing it out. Incomplete. Nate Jacquet, the target down the sideline. Ray Buchanan.
I think Ray Buchanan got away with one on this play. Nate Jacquet runs a good route, gets behind Ray Buchanan right here. Then he tries to adjust on the ball. Ray Buchanan runs over him before the ball's there.
Yeah.
That ball's a catchable ball. There's no way that they can say that's an uncatchable pass. He just completely ran over him. That's a penalty.
That's pass interference. Not called, though, by this officiating crew, setting up a 2nd and 10 for Miami. From the Atlanta 45, Marino able to get it off. Troy Drayton, the tight end. Brought down at the 33-yard line by William White. 14-yard pass play.
And that was an incredible job by quarterback Dan Marino. The right tackle, James Brown, got beat on the play. The rusher comes into him, Antonio Edwards, but he flicks that ball out of there just in the nick of time and completes the pass to his tight end for the first down.
Dan Marino now 5 yards shy of the 300-yard mark. Went over 3,000 yards passing for an NFL record 13th season last week. The AFC Offensive Player of the Week for the 16th time in his career. Marino standing in the pocket on a cross. McDuffie could not haul it in. And Buchanan was there with him.
I think what Ray Buchanan's doing this afternoon, particularly in this third quarter late, is he's showing everybody why he's a Pro Bowler, staying one-on-one with O.J. McDuffie, their best receiver, the leading receiver in the NFL this year as far as catches go, staying with him step for step and getting his hand in there and jarring that ball loose.
How much longer, though, do you go with your starters defensively?
I'm surprised he's in there. When you've got guys like that are Pro Bowlers, that are leaders of your defense, you need to start rotating the young players now and giving these guys a breather and get them off the field.
How about on the flip side for Miami? Do you stick with it?
They have to. I think Jimmy Johnson's got to try to win this game and keep all of his guys in there, keep all his starters in there. And here's a situation where he needs to win this game going into the postseason, regardless if they've got the game locked up at home next week or not. They've got to go in there with a winning attitude and some type of momentum, so you leave your starters in there.
Miscommunication, Nate Jacquet and Dan Marino. So 3rd and 10 for the Dolphins. Still a lot of time left, but considering what the result appears to be at the Meadowlands today, I don't know. If I'm Jimmy Johnson, I might start thinking about taking out your starters right around now. Maybe this will be the final drive for the offense. We'll see. Incomplete. Thomas down the sideline. And 4th down for Miami.
On the other side of that coin, Ian, if you look at this offense, they've got so many injuries. Who can you pull out? You know, you've got 4 out of your 6 offensive linemen, your best offensive linemen are on the sidelines. And your starting running back, he's out, and your backup's not playing well today. Your wide receiver tandem, they're stepping it up a little bit today, but they need to do better. And I think the only person you may want to pull is Dan Marino.
Yeah, point well taken. Dolphins will go for it on 4th and 10 from the 32. Really nothing to lose at this point. They trailed by 25 points. Marino fires. He's got a first down. Inside the 10-yard line, the Miami Dolphins are able to convert.
What a nice route by Rondé Gadsden on the outside. He just floats to the outside, plants, and crosses across the field. Dan Marino sees him. He's patient. He steps up in the pocket, gets great protection by the guys up front. But Rondé Gadsden just floats out to the outside, plants, and comes across the field, finds an opening, and Dan Marino finds him for the first down.
6 catches, 107 yards for Gadsden. And the drive remains alive for Miami with under 3 minutes to play in the 3rd. On the give, John Avery. William White was there to greet him. And Avery has had numerous problems inside the red zone. It's averaging less than 2 yards per carry here today.
And I believe the philosophy of offense coordinator Kippy Brown is you have to try to run the ball. But in this situation, when you're down by this many points, I would throw the ball each and every down. Every once in a while, maybe a draw play. But on first down, they're just not getting it done up front.
Down to 2:15 left in the 3rd. 2nd and goal from the 8 after the 1-yard loss from Avery. 4-receiver look. Marino will throw. Incomplete. Gadsden, the intended target. Michael Booker with the coverage. And 3rd and goal coming up for Miami.
Dan Marino gets good protection by the guys up front, and that's what he does best. He steps 3 to 5 steps back and fires that ball out of there. As soon as he sees one of his wide receivers break open, that ball's gone in an instant.
12th play of the drive coming up. This drive made possible after the Olindo Mare onside kick that worked to perfection. 3rd and goal. Marino. Incomplete. Drayton was in the vicinity, as was Gadsden. And now Jimmy Johnson will settle for the 3.
And going back to Dan Marino's release, we talked to Eugene Robinson, the Pro Bowl safety for Atlanta. He said a couple years ago, he was about 1.5 yards from a wide receiver in Miami. It was at the end of the game, and Dan Marino was 25 yards away. And before he knew it, Dan Marino lifted his arm. That ball was in there for the score that they lost the game. Miami won the game. He just couldn't believe how quickly Marino got that ball to his wide receiver.
Robinson was playing for Seattle at the time as Mare bangs it through from 26 yards away. Dolphins still have a long way to go. 38-16. Atlanta with the advantage.
One and only Publishers Clearinghouse Sweepstakes. Now,
the self-service for the birds.
Bigger than ever.
Broncos, 49ers, Cowboys. America's team is back when the Magnificent Seven returns CBS Friday, January 8th.
Hope you're enjoying this holiday season. Ian Eagle and Mark May with you from the Georgia Dome today. Atlanta with a 38-16 lead late in the 3rd quarter. Olindo Mare successful in his onside kick on his previous attempt. Will he try it again? He will not. Line drive. Tim Dwight. And Dwight is stacked up at the 31. 24-yard return for the rookie. Well, it's true, Monday Night Football is coming to a close, but you can still find all the excitement without the halftime right here on CBS. It's the best comedy lineup on TV. Cosby, King of Queens, Everybody Loves Raymond, and Becker. Monday on CBS. The Atlanta Falcons with 2 offensive plays this quarter compared to Miami's 28. The difference? Atlanta has 2 touchdowns on those 2 plays. Jamal Anderson had 1 of them. Give him 12 yards on that run. Brock Marion making the tackle, and Anderson just moments away from putting himself into the record books. 1 carry shy of setting a new NFL record with 408 carries on the season.
And that's amazing. As durable as he's been this year, getting the yards, helping his team to the playoff, he's just magnificent this year. And I think after this carry, we may not see him in the 4th quarter.
On the give for Anderson. And there it is. A new NFL record. Jamal Anderson, most carries in a season. He snaps the previous mark set by James Wilder from Tampa Bay back in 1984. His mom cheering on. Comes from a great family. Anderson, the 4th of 8 children. His father was head of security for the likes of Muhammad Ali and Richard Pryor, Diana Ross, Donna Summer. Used to watch Jim Brown tapes as a 6- and 7-year-old, trying to just pick up any kind of nuances he could find. Flag comes down on 2nd and 1.
Ball start, number 74 offense prior to the snap. Still 2nd down.
Anderson also responsible for what has become all the rage here in Atlanta, carrying on the tradition of dancing for the Falcons. Billy White Shoes Johnson, of course, did your favorite, Mark, the funky chicken. Neon Dion had that little shake move that he used for years. And the Dirty Bird, O.J. Santiago. Jamal Anderson perfecting it. I'm waiting to see you do it.
I can dance.
No.
I can dance.
I've seen your moves. Very shaky. End of the third quarter. We might get Mark May to do the dirty bird in the fourth. 38-16. Atlanta leads it.
Okay, give me the yard.
From Iron Eagle, Mark May, our entire CBS crew, with Atlanta in front. 38-16. Long day for Dan Marino and company. They came in talking about keeping momentum going following that impressive win over the Denver Broncos on Monday night. On second down, Jamal Anderson crossing midfield into Miami territory. Zach Thomas making the tackle for Miami. Moments ago, the cheerleaders carted out get well wishes signed by all the fans, a sold-out crowd that came into the Georgia Dome today. And obviously our best wishes go out to Coach Reeves as well. We're sure he's watching the game at home. He did stop by the Georgia Dome earlier today to talk to his players. Reeves, one of the leading candidates for Coach of the Year, and really the point that has to be made, Rich Brooks, the interim head coach, he has brought legitimacy to this franchise that was in search of it for so many years.
And talking to a lot of players, when we talked to Jamal Anderson, the first thing he said is if you look in the dictionary under Atlanta Falcon, it equal perennial loser. That's what it meant. And Dan Reeves really changed that and the philosophy around with not only that and giving them a winning attitude, but treating these guys like men, treating them as they should be treated in the NFL, and just his attitude towards the players. A lot of people don't know Dan Reeves' personality. He's a jokester. He's a fun guy to be around. And you see him on the sidelines yelling at the officials, and you don't get that feel about Dan Reeves, but the players love him. He's always been a player's coach.
Of course, it was no joke 2 weeks ago when he had quadruple bypass surgery. Looks like that's going to be it for Jamal Anderson. 18 rushes, 103 yards, and a touchdown, setting a new NFL record for most carries in a season. Replaced in the lineup by Ken Oxendine, the rookie out of Virginia Tech, as flags come down and a fight breaks out. So unnecessary here in the fourth quarter. A couple of teams headed to the playoffs. Unnecessary and unfortunate as well.
And a lot of that's frustration by the Dolphins. They hadn't been in this position the entire season where they're almost humiliated, particularly this defense. And it's a young, aggressive defense. And jumping off sides, I've been in that situation in games like this, being behind. The offensive line, you can't move. You have to sit there. You have to absorb the punishment of the defense across from you. And a lot of times, those defenders will not lighten up, and they'll take a free shot at an offensive lineman, as we just saw in the last play.
Sam Madison involved. See that push up front as Robert Tobeck got thrown down to the turf, the center. And the Falcons retaliate. Madison was part of the extracurricular activities. We'll see if he's been ejected from the game.
And just a selfish play like that, it still hurts your team. Even though you're down at this point of the game in the fourth quarter by 22 points, you end it as a professional. You started the game and you started the season as a professional. End it that way.
Well, it's going to end in the locker room for Sam Madison, who's had a great year.
We have 2 fouls on the defense. Encroachment will be declined. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 29, defense will be enforced, and the player is ejected.
Johnny Greer giving the old heave-ho signal. Madison, who went to college with Ray Buchanan at Louisville, the Pro Bowl corner for the Atlanta Falcons, and really looked up to Buchanan. We spoke with Ray about Madison. He was so proud of the season he's had for the Miami Dolphins. Told him, don't worry about not getting that Pro Bowl berth. That will come in time. I went through the same thing with the Indianapolis Colts. And for Madison, it has to be a learning process. This is second year, but he's got to know better than that.
And sometimes as a player, you need to establish yourself, not only 1 year, but 2 or 3 years, so the players recognize you as a Pro Bowler. And I think Ray Buchanan was trying to explain that to Sam Madison. Sometimes you have a great year, you have to back it up the next year, then you'll get those Pro Bowl votes.
So the Falcons will have the football placed at the 27-yard line. Clock is stopped with 13:29 to play in the fourth. Chris Chandler left this game in the first quarter, replaced by Steve DeBerg. Another look at it. Madison coming from your right side, and
right at the end of the play, just spears Calvin Collins, the left guard in the back. And Calvin Collins is upset. He wants to find out who did it. He got hit in the back. He doesn't know who did it.
Well, Collins probably could have accepted it if it was a defensive lineman, but I don't know if he wanted to get knocked down to the turf by a cornerback.
We'll hear about that in the meetings tomorrow.
Harold Green getting the carry, and still some words being exchanged following the play. Injury updates. Jason Taylor, broken right clavicle for the Miami Dolphins. Left in the first half, did not return. He will be re-examined down in South Florida. There's Lamar Thomas just looking on. I don't think the Dolphins expected this. And as I mentioned, the Chandler injury was to his back. And maybe in some ways a blessing in disguise, because it took Rich Brooks off the griddle to make a decision. Flag on the play. Harold Green trying to get to the outside. A former 1,000-yard rusher in his own right. Played with Cincinnati and St. Louis in past years. Thomas and Jones combining on the stop. Chandler appears to be okay. Another penalty against this Miami defense. But there were some rather shaky moments early on.
Offside, 52, defense. Still second down.
Dolphins, keep in mind, do not play a playoff game until 2 weeks from now. Time right now for an NFL Today report. We go to New York and Jim Nantz.
All right, thank you, Ian. Billy Joe Tolliver has brought the Saints back. They were down 28-0, now 31-21, but it's old Johnson & Johnson time. Rob Talani for the touchdown gets the Bills back ahead by 17. Let's go back now to Ian and Mark.
Jim approaching the 12-minute mark of the fourth quarter. 38-16, Falcons in front. To the flat, Brian Kozlowski. Zach Thomas forcing him out of bounds. Kozlowski, a holdover from Dan Reeves' days with the New York Giants, and that's common in the NFL. You'll see a coach move from one job to another and take some players with him.
Well, you like to take your back wherever you go, and when some of these coaches go to new jobs in the NFL, they want to surround themselves with players that they had in the past because they can depend on them. Bill Parcells is notorious for that. Bigger players wherever he goes. And you also want to get coaches around you, but right now this seems to be unraveling for the Miami Dolphins.
By far their worst defensive effort of the season. The most points they've allowed this year. Falcons have put 38 on the board. Harold Green up the middle. Moves the football to the 10-yard line. As he picked up 6 on first down, Jamal Anderson has that infectious grin, as do a number of other Falcon players. This is a very likable team.
They are, and they're very personable, and they like to have fun. And not only on the field, but off the field. You see these guys on the sidelines. Back when I played for the Redskins, we always had fun. We always went on the field, and in situations like this, when we knew we had our opponent beat, we just run the ball down their throats and have fun.
Eugene Robinson told us they'll go out as a group to a mall, to the movies. Very close-knit group of players, and it's showing. On 2nd and 4 from the 10. DeBerg on the give for Green. Lost the football. Falcons able to recover, though, at the 8-yard line. Looked like O.J. Santiago was able to jump on it. Let's see. Yes, it was the tight end.
For the Miami Dolphins, nothing is going right for this team. They can't come up with a turnover. When the ball's free on the ground, they can't come up with it or make a big play the entire afternoon. Here's a team that lived and thrived on big plays, particularly by their defense the entire NFL season.
3-receiver look on 3rd and 2. Showing blitz. Movement on the draw. Harold Green able to move ahead for a first down across the 5-yard line. See what the penalty was. Against Miami, so Atlanta will have the first down.
Offside, 91, defense. First down.
And that's a cagey veteran at quarterback, and Steve DeBerg changing the snap count with his voice inflection. He knows Miami's chomping at the bit on the line of scrimmage to make a play and get across the line of scrimmage, but just using his voice inflection out there at the quarterback position, he picks up a free first down for his offensive team.
Another injury update. O.J. McDuffie, knee irritation. He will not return for the final 9+ minutes. First and goal. On the give. Harold Green stumbles ahead as he picks up a couple. Tim Bowen's making the tackle for Miami along with Calvin Jackson. We might also see a new quarterback for Miami once they come back on the field offensively. Damon Heward, second year out of Washington now, warming up on the sidelines, and I think that would be a wise choice by Jimmy Johnson and company.
Well, it's time to reload now. It's time to protect your stars, and Dan Marino's the star of this football team. And there's nothing that he can do at this point to bring this team back. And Dan Marino's played a heck of a game today. He's left it out there on the field, played well today, but the turnovers killed him, and his defensive team just couldn't stop the Atlanta Falcons.
Bob Hallen is an eligible receiver as Harold Green tries to churn the legs, inching closer to the goal line, but not quite there. Trace Armstrong making the tackle.
Quarterback Steve DeBerg is doing a magnificent job of clock management, milking the clock, taking it down to 3 seconds before the snap, looking at the clock and just pausing at the line of scrimmage. And that's a smart job by a smart quarterback that's played an awful long time in this league.
Counting down to 8 minutes left in the fourth. 3rd and goal for Atlanta. Kozlowski and Green in the backfield. On the give. And Harold Green will not get there. Brock Marion involved in the hit. And Morton Anderson will come onto the field to attempt a short field goal.
And Zach Thomas will never give up. He'll be in there until the final whistle blows and still give 100% and never leaves the field to play. Stays in there on nickel situations. He's on the kickoff coverage team. He puts his heart on the field every time he steps out there.
Thomas, a restricted free agent at the end of the season. Dolphins have gotten him at a bargain basement price because he was a 4th-round pick a few years ago. 19-yard field goal for Morton Anderson. Can you believe it? The kicking game has not been there today. It hit the post. And that's uncharacteristic. Doesn't really matter. Atlanta in control.
It's the end of the year, and now you can get some of the...
Will not get their 300th regular season win in franchise history today. But Damon Heward will see action. Stepping in for Dan Marino with just over 7 minutes to play in the fourth. Flags come down as Heward handed the ball off to John Avery. Free agent signing, Damon Heward, out of the University of Washington. A native of Yakima, Washington. False start called on the Miami offense. James Brown, the right tackle. And for Marino, so ends his 16th regular season. Coming up just short of 3,500 yards passing, 23 touchdowns, 15 INTs, 37 years old. And you can bet he'll be back for year number 17 next year. Heward's pass was almost picked off. Ray Buchanan had a shot at it. Nate Jacquette, the intended receiver, on the sideline.
And at this point in the game, Ray Buchanan and company, they're just having fun out there. They don't want to leave the game. You want to go on the sidelines with some players, but a lot of players say, hey, I'm going to be out here for the full duration, and I've started the season. Let's finish the season, the last play of the season of the regular season. And he's out there having fun. That entire secondary loves to play together. Eugene Robinson, William White, the strong safety, Ronnie Bradford, Michael Booker played a lot this year for the Falcons. Those guys know how to have fun.
On 2nd and 15. Over the middle. And the catch made by Gadsden. Out to the 21-yard line. Some look at the Miami players. Now keep this in mind. This Miami team is A, going to the playoffs, B, hosting a playoff game next week. But you would never know it from the looks on their faces, considering what has transpired here this afternoon at the Georgia Dome.
Well, as an athlete, when you're embarrassed and humiliated in front of 70,000 plus fans and all over the country, it means something to you. The game means something to you, and they know in the back of their mind they've got to regroup in a hurry to play better in the playoff game next month.
On 3rd and 9. floater down the sideline. Rondé Gadsden bringing it in at the 45-yard line. He can make circus catches.
And he's amazing when he goes after the football. Everybody knocks him on his feet, but I love the way he has his body in position to catch a pass, and his size and strength, and has tremendous body control.
A new career high for Gadsden receiving yardage in a game. 8 catches, 137 yards. Not bad for a guy who was not on this roster during training camp. The injury to Yatil Green. Second straight year that Green went down with the injury. Opened up a spot in the Miami wide receiving corps, and Gadsden has taken advantage of it. Heward tried to air it out for Todd Doxson, who is a receiver slash quarterback for this Miami team, who's actually a QB at Iowa State. But it was incomplete with 5:40 to play in the fourth. Right now, let's take a look at the CBS Sportsline question of the week. Who would you pick as the top coach in the league this season? Dennis Green, Bill Parcells, Dan Reeves, or Mike Shanahan? Log on to vote at cbs.sportsline.com or on America Online at keyword CBS Sportsline.
And I think that's a heck of an argument of who's going to be coach of the year this year. All those guys are deserving. They've all had great seasons this year. I think Bill Parcells really turned the team around, and Dan Reeves has done an outstanding job also. I think it may come down to those two.
Heward throwing. He's got Troy Drayton. Inside the 40-yard line, William White making the tackle from behind after the 18-yard hookup. So Damon Heward seeing extended playing time for the first time this season. And we've mentioned it on previous broadcasts. Pretty amazing in the year of the backup quarterback in the NFL that Dan Marino would just get through unscathed and basically take every snap for this team.
And it isn't a compliment to Dan Marino on what he's done throughout his career, but staying healthy through this entire season and playing every snap. And that's one thing about Dan Marino. When he takes the football field, he takes it as a professional, and throughout his entire career, he hasn't missed a lot of games. He's had a few injuries that's kept him out.
On the quarterback. Still first down.
Damon Heward called for the false start. Coming up next, game 2 of our doubleheader. Some of you will see Seattle at Denver as the Broncos try to right their ship as they prepare for the postseason. Seattle wrapping up the regular season, not making the playoffs once again. And others will see San Diego at Arizona. Playoff ramifications in that one, with the Cardinals trying to qualify for the postseason. On a 1st and 15 from the 42. Play action. Heward's in trouble. Drop back at the 48-yard line. Henri Crockett. 3rd sack of the day for this Atlanta defense.
And this Atlanta defense is not letting down. Defensive coordinator Rich Brooks comes with the blitz on the outside, does not let down. On one side, you've got Henri Crockett. On the other side, you've got the rookie Keith Brookings putting pressure on quarterback Damon Heward. But this team on 1st down still goes after the quarterback this late in the game.
I want to take a moment just to thank our crew this season. What a tremendous job our producer Vic Frank, director Suzanne Smith did this year. Associate Director Sean Gerchikoff. Heward throwing. He lost the football. William White scooping it up. And that's the way it's worked all day long, as Rondé Gadsden couldn't hold on to it. 6th turnover of the day. And that's the game in a nutshell. Atlanta cruising with just over 4 minutes left.
CBS is sponsored by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. And by Staples, the office superstore.
The Atlanta Falcons on the verge of winning their 20th game over their last 24. Falcons doing a little bit of everything today. Big plays on the offensive end. Some defensive stands as well, especially in the red zone. Turnovers. Ken Oxendon is in the backfield. Oxendon has some room. Ken Oxendon spinning his way into into Miami territory. Stepping in for Jamal Anderson, whose day came to a close earlier this quarter. 21-yard gain for Oxendine. For Anderson, what a season it has been. Broke the NFL record for rushing attempts in a campaign, 410. James Wilder from Tampa Bay had the previous mark. Broke touchdown rushing record, team records, and overall touchdowns as well, and rushing yardage records for the Falcons, previously held by Gerald Riggs. New quarterback for the Falcons, it's Tony Graziani, second year out of Oregon. Give it off for Oxendine. Oxendine very close to first down yardage.
9. Head coach Dan Reeves has to have a smile on his face. The way that his team came out and played from start to finish, starting the game off the way they did, scoring the way they did, but playing in the game within themselves and finishing the season off the right way.
Falcons have that first round bye. Then they will be at home 2 weeks from either yesterday or today. Possibly a matchup with the Dallas Cowboys, the number 3 seed. Gary Downs now in the backfield as a fullback. Played for Reeves with the New York Giants. And Oxendine getting the call. Needed 1 for the first down. Some other people we should thank. Our associate, broadcast associate, Sellers Shy. Also technical director, Chris Romanek. Statisticians this season, Dave Freed and Neil Silver. Our editors, Eric Lund and Kelly Buccino. And Jim Stamets, our spotter throughout most of the campaign. 2-minute warning. We're ready to wrap this thing up. 38-16, Atlanta.
It's a champion of the Daytona 500.
The Daytona 500 is on CBS.
The Atlanta Falcons will win their 9th consecutive game. They lead Miami 38-16. Don't forget, coming up next on CBS, doubleheader action. Game 2 at Seattle at Denver, or San Diego playing at Arizona. Chris Chandler, Steve DeBerg. A lot of laughs here today for the Atlanta Falcons. Got off to the quick start, and they just never looked back. Miami had some chances to get back into it. They were unable to take advantage. Oxendine getting the carry. The executive producer of CBS Sports is Terry Ewert. The senior producer of CBS Sports, Eric Mann. And the NFL Today, directed by Bob Matina. We'll step aside with 1:49 left. 38-16. Atlanta in charge.
CBS is sponsored by Hertz. Nobody does it exactly like Hertz. And by IBM. Are you ready for e-business?
The Atlanta Falcons, only their 2nd division championship in the team's 33-year history. Harold Richardson, the general manager of the Atlanta Falcons, on the sidelines wearing a headset. In fact, wearing Dan Reeves' headset. Obviously, some roles have to be shuffled around in Reeves' absence. Falcons are hoping that the head coach will rejoin the team on the sidelines for their first playoff game. Graziani on the handoff for Oxendine. With 1:05 left. Clock is rolling. How good is this Atlanta team? I know you're high on Minnesota. Are the Falcons on that level?
And I think the reason why they're on that level, I agree with that. I think they're close to Minnesota because of their running game. And not just Jamal Anderson, the guys up front have done a tremendous job this season. Their play-action pass, the way they carry out their fakes, takes a lot out of the defense. And the way Rich Brooks has coached this defense, I think that they're contenders right up there. I think the final 2 games may be in the NFC, Atlanta and Minnesota.
What about Miami now hosting Buffalo next week? Yes, it is at Pro Player Stadium, but it is against a very good Bills team.
Well, they need to go back and regroup and do it in a hurry. I think Jimmy Johnson has to tell this team, forget it, wash it out of your systems, it's over, let's be on next week's game.
Time trickling away with 23 seconds left in the 4th quarter. We're We're coming back to Atlanta in a moment. Step aside for the final time. 38-16. Falcons.